Hello there guys, what is going on? FMU here on the FMScout channel, and big news broke today. Jose Mourinho has been sacked by Chelsea again, because I believe the first time he was sacked by Chelsea, wasn't he? So a lot of people have been talking about who's going to come in, who's going to replace him. Pep Guardiola's been spoke of, you know, so many managers been touted around, but one that caught my eye was Mitmar Jr. on Twitter has been saying he wants Eddie Howe. He really wants Eddie Howe in. So I thought, let's do a little experiment. How will Eddie Howe do, according to FM16, if given the chance at Chelsea? So we've moved him over, as you can see, there he is, his lovely little profile picture. And the Premier League has been, they've played one extra game. When I got to this point in the save, I obviously holidayed to the 17th of December, and they'd actually played 17 games. So I basically edited the entire table, but just gave them all an extra draw. So they've all got an extra point. That's it. The only difference between today's table in real life and this table there, in terms of the points in the table. So without further ado, let's get on and see how Eddie Howe does between now and the end of the first season at Chelsea. Okay then guys, so at the end of the first season in charge, well, first half a season in charge for Eddie Howe, things seem to have gone quite well from this early viewing of the screen. They managed to finish up in 6th place, so they qualified for the Europa League. Poor old Leicester dropped down to 7th, but still European football for them. Villa, Sunderland and Norwich have gone down. But we're focusing obviously on Chelsea. And in terms of transfers, let's have a little look at who he's brought in. So, these couple of guys obviously were brought in by Mourinho before obviously we took over with Eddie Howe. Paulo Oliveira is coming from Sporting, and Che Nunley has come in from Ajax. So 2 signings for Eddie Howe. Oliveira, how many games did he play in total? He's obviously a central defender, 24 years of age, and he only played 3 Premier League games and 4 FA Cup games in domestic leagues. For Chelsea, in the season overall, he played 17 games. But yeah, all in all in the league, he only made 4 appearances for Chelsea since signing from Sporting. So not a really top-notch sign. He's not come in and flew in and just done everything straight away. And obviously, Che Nunley's just, he's a guy that's been brought in for the future. He's only 17 years of age, so he's not made an appearance yet. So that's not massively surprising. And outgoings have just been loan players. That's it. So in terms of the league, he took over on the 17th of December, so just after a 3-0 win over Watford. His first game in charge was a 3-1 defeat at home to Manchester City, but then look at that for a run. That is a fantastic run, beating Manchester United, Manchester City. They knocked Leeds out of the FA Cup, knocked Swansea out of the FA Cup, a 2-0 win away at Bayern Munich, which is massive, and then a 3-1 win at home. They then, unfortunately, in a replay against Manchester United at Old Trafford, were beaten in the FA Cup. They went on to knock out Atletico Madrid over 2 legs, but unfortunately the semi-final of the Champions League was just a step too far, and despite a 3-1 win at home, they were knocked out of the Champions League 4-3 on aggregate due to Manchester City winning 3-0 at the Etihad. So in terms of the squad, why does it do this? Why does it? Because I'm not manager. It's so annoying. Let's have a look through. Let's just do this. In terms of the squad, we've got Hazard with 25 goals, Diego Costa with 40, 12 for Pedro, and 13 for Falcao on this save. 13 also for Oscar. Assists wise, Fabregas top of the table with 22, and player of the match is unsurprisingly, is Diego Costa, closely followed by Hazard. So they're into the Europa League for next season. So we're only going to do this season and next season. I'm not going to drag it on too far into the future. You can draw your own conclusions from them. But we're going to now holiday through next season and see what happens with Eddie Howe and Chelsea. Welcome back then, guys. And things don't look so great for Eddie Howe. The second season is over and he has been sacked. Bit harsh, I have to say. A bit harsh. They finished in 4th, which obviously for them is not good enough. 13 points behind Arsenal, who eventually took the title, which is quite a big gap if we're honest. But in terms of competitions, let's just have a little look and see how they did in the cup competitions. So the FA Cup, they actually lost the final to Manchester City, which is a bit of a sucker punch. That's harsh, that is, isn't it? But yeah, they've lost the final of the FA Cup. Community Shield, obviously they weren't in it. Capital One Cup, they were beaten in the semi-finals over 2 legs by Swansea after knocking out Burnley, QPR and Liverpool along the way. And in terms of the Europa League, they actually won the Europa League final 2-0 against AC Milan. So that's not bad, really. You know, they've reached 2 cup finals, won 1, lost 1. The league form is clearly what's done them. They've made the Champions League, but obviously that was not enough to keep Eddie Howe in his job, unfortunately. In terms of transfers, they've brought in Bernard, Paco, is it Alcalcer? I'm not sure. I'm sure people will tell me down below in the comments the correct way to pronounce that, but I apologise. It's not a name I'm too sure about, to be honest. Martin Montoya and David Santon. So Bernard, how did he get on in his first season at Chelsea? Only made 5 Premier League appearances, 10 appearances altogether, which is a bit harsh, but 12 appearances all season, 6 goals. So not the best of starts for him at Chelsea, but not too bad. Paco, much better. 52 appearances, 25 goals altogether, 35 and 17 in the league. So he's had a much better start than Bernard to his career at Chelsea. As far as Montoya is concerned, 36 appearances in the league and 1 goal, 37 if you count sub-appearance. 52 appearances and 1 goal all season from right back, so not bad at all for him. And lastly, but one of his least, Santon. He has made a total appearances of 14, 22 and 22 sub-appearances and a goal, 19 in the Premier League. So, okay for him, but not spectacular. But Paco and Montoya, you have to say, have had much better seasons. In terms of outgoings, Salah went to Roma and Mikel to Southampton. Wallace has gone to Udinese. Will.i.am went to Barcelona for 24.5 million. Perica to Sheffield United. Nathan Ake to Aston Villa. Victor Moses to Stoke on a permanent deal. Well, that's interesting. The 2 players they signed last season that Mourinho signed have both left the club this season. That's interesting. And Suljic has gone to Hacken. Pedro to Atletico Madrid. Paulo Oliveira, another player who came in last season, has moved to Newcastle. Omeru has gone to Benfica. Marco Marin has gone to Norwich. Wow, they've had a big clear out. A lot of players have gone and only a few have come in. So that's interesting. Let's have a look now and see when Eddie Howe was let go. Wrong one. Managers. Okay, so the 28th of it, so he's only just literally been let go. That's very harsh. Very harsh. He wins the Europa League and then get sacked. That's a bit harsh, to be fair. But I suppose in a way, you know, Champions League is what they want. They didn't quite get there. So it's understandable in a way. Bit harsh from the outside, but that's football, I guess. But anyway, guys, that's it for this episode of, this experiment, should I say. I was going to say episode of experiments, but it's not a series, is it? It's just an experiment standalone. But be sure there will be more of these coming up. I don't know if perhaps some of the other guys are thinking of doing different managers at Chelsea, see how they get on, so that could be interesting to compare them. But guys, we're all here because of our love of Football Manager, and if you love Football Manager, we want to hear about it in the comments down below. Do you think if, and it's a big if, Eddie Howe took over at Chelsea, this would be a fair representation? Do you think they'd give him longer if he did win the Europa League? Do you think they'd think, actually, he's won that, maybe we should stick with him, give him more of a go? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, hit that like button if you've enjoyed this and you want to see more videos from us on FMScout. We want to get a good idea of how you guys are feeling towards the channel. If you're new, please drop a subscribe down below and check out all the other great content. You can also check out all the content creators' personal channels, including mine, which is in the description down below. And guys, if you want to drop FMScout a follow on Twitter, it's just simply at FMScout. But for now, boys and girls, been an absolute pleasure being in your face. Bye-bye.